Someone is about to love you in a way that just changes everything, like everything. And it's so beautiful. There's like a song coming through right now, and it's a country song, a little bit old school, which I love, but it goes something like this. I think it's by George Strait, but it's like, and I'm going to love you forever and ever, amen. And I am not good at singing, but that song is just so beautiful. So if this message found you, there are no coincidences. I'm speaking to someone who I strongly believe has spent a quiet lifetime wondering what it would feel like to be loved exactly for who they are. To not need to be edited, to be adored or loved, not being asked to be changed. You're not looking to be tolerated or half accepted or just chosen when others need you for something. You want to know what that kind of love is. And you want to experience the kind of love that's so wholesome, the kind that you feel down to the center of your soul, so fully and so deeply, and in such a reciprocal manner that it's almost like it tickles your soul. Like that's how much this love could transcend not just you, but this person, I feel like. And if you believe in that sort of thing, I mean, if anything, I hope you at least believe in love, because I know I do. But anyway, if that's resonating and that's you, stay with me for a little bit, because something, whether you realize it or not, is going to change your world. And you're just about to experience a profound kind of love that makes sense now, but it would have felt impossible before this moment. The love you kept giving away was always meant for you. There is a particular kind of person in this world who loves without a receipt, who gives without keeping score, who shows up fully, completely, sometimes at great personal cost, and asks for nothing in return except to be met with the same sincerity they bring to everything they do. They do not love strategically. They do not love in careful, measured doses designed to protect themselves. They just love, openly, completely, sometimes recklessly. You probably already know that this is you. And if you are honest with yourself, you also know the quiet exhaustion that comes with it. Not the kind of exhaustion that makes you want to stop loving. You could never really stop. And somewhere deep down, you know that too. But the kind that accumulates slowly in the small moments. In the dry one-word replies to your thoughtful messages. In the blank stares when you try to go deeper than the surface. In the birthday you remembered for someone who forgot yours entirely. In the 1,000 tiny moments where you brought your whole heart and found nobody home on the other side. That exhaustion has a name, but most people never say it out loud. It is called the loneliness of being understood by no one, not the loneliness of being alone. That is a different thing entirely and far easier to manage. Cool. This is something more specific and more painful. It is the loneliness of being surrounded by people, connected to people, loved by people in whatever way they are capable of, and still feeling like the most essential part of you has never truly been received by anyone. Like you are speaking a language that everyone around you almost understands, close enough that you keep trying, not close enough that you ever feel fully known, and so you adapted. You became fluent in other people's languages. You learned how to translate yourself into versions that were easier for others to hold. You softened your depth when it made people uncomfortable. You laughed off your own longing when it seemed like too much. You became so good at making others feel seen and understood that nobody ever stopped to ask whether you felt that way too. This is the hidden cost of being someone who loves the way you love. It is invisible to almost everyone around you because you carry it so gracefully. But it is real. And it has been heavy for a very long time. Here is what most people never realize about someone like you. And this is the part worth sitting with, really sitting with. The reason you gave so much to people who could not fully receive it was not a mistake in judgment. It was not naivety. It was not some pattern you need to fix or a wound you need to heal before you deserve something better. It was overflow. Your capacity for love is genuinely so large that it simply had to go somewhere. And so it went toward whoever was nearby, whoever needed it, whoever showed even the smallest opening. You loved people into better versions of themselves. You held space for people who had never experienced real emotional safety before. You gave and gave and gave, not because you were weak or desperate or afraid of being alone, but because the love inside you was real, and real love always finds somewhere to go. The painful truth is that you have spent years watering gardens that were never yours to tend, and they grew. Because of you, they grew. And then those people moved on, taking everything you poured into them, and you were left standing in empty field, wondering why you always end up here, wondering what is wrong with you, wondering if maybe you are simply someone who was designed to give love, but never quite built to receive it. But that thought, that quiet, devastating belief that maybe real love is just not meant for you. That is the lie that formed in the gap between what you deserved and what you actually received. It is what happens when a person of enormous depth spends too long surrounded by people of limited emotional range. You started measuring yourself by their capacity. You started believing that if someone with so little to offer could not love you well, then perhaps you were the variable, perhaps you were the problem. You were not the problem. You were simply too much for people who had decided somewhere along the way that feeling deeply was a risk not worth taking. And so they took what warmth they could from you and kept their own hearts behind glass, safe, untouched, unavailable. And you, being who you are, loved them anyway, hoped anyway, stayed anyway. Because giving up on people has never come naturally to you. And here is what that cost you that nobody ever talks about. It cost you the belief that you were worth staying for. That is the wound underneath all the other wounds. Not the heartbreaks themselves, not the disappointments or the one-sided efforts or the relationships that faded without ceremony. The real wound is what all of those experiences slowly taught you to believe about yourself. That you were the one who loved more. Always. That you were the one who cared more. Always. That you were somehow fundamentally more replaceable than the love you offered. And you carried that belief so quietly. You tucked it away beneath your warmth, beneath your generosity, beneath your genuine joy in caring for others. Nobody saw it because you never stopped showing up. You never let it make you bitter or closed or unkind. But it was there. It is probably still theirs in some form, that small, persistent whisper that asks whether this time will be any different. Here is the deep realization, the one that changes everything if you let it land properly. The love that is coming towards you is not a reward. It is not the universe finally deciding you have suffered enough and handing you something good as compensation. It is not something you earned through all the pain or deserved because of how much you gave. It is simply what happens when someone of your depth finally encounters another person who has been living at the same frequency all along. Two people moving through the world, carrying the same quality twin of feeling, the same capacity for depth, the same hunger for something real, and simply not finding each other until now. Not because the timing was cruel, not because the universe was withholding, but because this kind of person is genuinely rare. And rare things take time to find each other. What will be different about this, and this is important to understand before it arrives, is it will feel because it will feel unfamiliar at first, is that you will not have to translate yourself. You will not have to soften your depth or make your love more digestible or wonder whether you are being too much. You will say something real and it will land in the exact place you meant it to land. You will reach out and instead of finding air, you will find a hand already reaching back. And that is going to feel strange. not bad, strange, but disorienting in the way that all deeply good things feel when you have been without them for a long time. Like walking into a warm room after being outside in the cold for so long that you had forgotten what warm felt like. Your whole body takes a moment to adjust to the fact that it is safe now. You are going to need to let yourself adjust, because the instinct, and this is the part nobody warns you about, the instinct when someone finally meets you properly will be to wait for it to fall apart, to look for the catch, to wonder what you are missing, what flaw is hiding behind the kindness, what version of disappointment is coming, because disappointment is what you have learned to expect. That instinct is not weakness. It is wisdom that has simply outlived its usefulness. It protected you when protection was necessary. It kept you from being completely destroyed by people who were not equipped to love you. But it is going to try to protect you from something that does not require protection. And recognizing the difference between caution that serves you and fear that limits you is perhaps the most important thing you will do when this love arrives. Because this person is not going to hurt you the way you have been hurt before. Not because they are perfect, but because they are present. And presence, genuine, consistent, wholehearted presence is the one thing that all the wrong people could never quite manage to give you. So here's what I want you to understand, really understand. Before this love finds you, you do not need to earn it. You do not need to make yourself smaller to keep it or larger to deserve it. You do not need to love first and hope they follow or hold back and wait to see if they reach. You do not need to perform your worthiness or prove your depth or demonstrate once again that you are someone worth choosing. You just need to let yourself be chosen. Fully, without apology. That is the thing you have never quite been given permission to do. To simply receive. To stand in the middle of someone's love for you and not immediately look for ways to give it back or earn it or justify it. To let it land, to let it be real. To let yourself be the one who is adored for a while, simply and completely, without managing the experience or worrying about whether you are too much or not enough. You have spent so long being the one who holds others together, the one who remembers, the one who notices, the one who loves past people's edges into all the tender, hidden places they were afraid to show anyone else. It is your turn now. And the beautiful, quietly devastating thing about what is coming is this person is not going to see you as a project or a safe harbor or someone to grow with and then outgrow. They are going to see you as the destination, the place they have been navigating toward through everything that came before. Every wrong turn and every wrong person and every moment of their own quiet loneliness will make sense when they find you, because you will be the answer to a question they had almost stopped asking, well, just as they are the answer to yours. This is not a fairy tale. It is not magic. Well, it is simply two people who are always going to find each other, finally arriving at the same place at the same time, with enough of themselves intact to actually be present for it. Well, and all of those years of loving the wrong people, all of that overflow poured into gardens that were never yours, none of it was wasted. Because it kept your heart open. Well, it kept you soft when the world gave you every reason to become hard. It kept you believing, even when the belief was barely a flicker, that something real was still possible. That flicker was right. Well, it always was. Dear soul, if these words found you at this exact moment, please don't leave them behind too quickly. Maybe your heart has been carrying something you haven't told anyone. Well, maybe you've smiled in front of people while quietly wondering when your own breakthrough, your own answered prayer, your own moment of peace would finally come. Well, so before you continue, take a deep breath. Now say this with everything inside you. I am chosen. I am loved. I am not forgotten. God has not abandoned my story. Well, what is meant for me is still coming. My heart will heal. My prayers will be answered. My story is still being written. Say it again. And this time, don't just speak the words. Feel them. Well, because there were moments when you thought you had been forgotten. Moments when you watched other people receive what you had been praying for. Well, moments when you wondered why your journey had to be so difficult. Well, and perhaps there were nights when you cried quietly, asking God, when will it finally be my turn? But beloved, your story is not over. Well, the chapter that broke you is not the chapter that will define you. The season that made you cry is not the season that will last forever. Well, and the love, peace, restoration, and blessing you have been praying for may be closer than your eyes can see. Let this promise settle deep inside your spirit. You are not forgotten. God saw every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed you were hurting. He saw every prayer you whispered when you didn't have the strength to say much. He saw the nights you kept believing, even when everything around you told you to give up. And none of it was wasted. So walk into the days ahead differently. Don't walk like someone who has been abandoned. Walk like someone who is still being guided. Don't walk like your best days are behind you. Walk knowing that God can still surprise you with something more beautiful than you imagined. And if this message touched something inside you, share it with someone who needs it. Someone may be sitting alone right now, fighting a battle nobody knows about. Someone may be one moment away from giving up on their faith their dreams, or their hope. Your share could be the small light they needed today. And if your heart feels led to support this mission of bringing messages of faith, hope, and encouragement to people around the world, you can do so through a super thanks. Whether you give $5, $10, $20, or simply offer your prayers and support, never believe that a sincere act of kindness is invisible to God. May every seed you give return to you in ways you cannot yet imagine. May God restore what life took from you. May He heal the places you have hidden from everyone else. May He open the door you've been praying about. May He bring peace where there has been confusion, hope where there has been disappointment, and love where your heart has felt empty. And when the day finally comes that you look back and understand why certain you had to wait, why certain doors closed, and why certain people had to leave, I pray you will smile through your tears and say, now I understand. God was never ignoring me. He was preparing me. So hold on, dear soul. Keep believing, keep praying, keep your heart open. Your story is still being written, and this may only be the beginning of the chapter you've been waiting for. Yeah, I'm receiving a download between you and a divine masculine. I am seeing a vision of this divine masculine, like massaging your feet or like physically massaging your body, really caring for you quite gently, actually. This person is very physically affectionate with you. I feel like you are moving into a time period in this love connection where this person like cannot keep their hands off of you. Like they have to touch you to physically know that like you are theirs. I feel like this person, I'm hearing like a waiting period, and like that waiting period is coming to a close. So maybe you are currently in like physical contact with this person, or maybe there's a little bit of a distance, but I feel like that distance has made the heart grow fonder, and like the distance between you and this person has been deepening this person's feelings and also desire of you. I feel like you have been kind of in your own energy, like focusing on your own life, like haven't really been paying a lot of attention to this person's, like the way that they're coming forward to you is what's coming through. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this masculine energy does not reveal a whole lot to you. Like they have been continuously working on revealing more and more about their feelings and their thoughts and like their desires and their intentions, but they hold back so much. Like I feel like there's little subtle cues when it comes to this person, and you pick up on them. I don't know if I'm hearing you do it for this person. Like you do it to this person. Like whatever this person fantasizes about you more often than they would care to admit. I think that they have like this whole image of you in their mind of what they want to experience, and also just like how they want to take care of you. Like how they want to show up for you, how they want to be the person that you need. They really take it very seriously. Like they see that as such a powerful part of their path and purpose, like guiding you and protecting you. And I feel like this person really doesn't want you to be doing life on your own, but at the same time I feel like you are somebody who actually enjoys your independence a little bit.
Like when it comes to this love connection, it's almost as if like your independence still needs to exist. Let's, okay, angels, where can you guide me with this connection? What do I want to know? I want to know, what are their true intentions for you? I'm seeing like a pounding heart from this person's chest, like growing and growing and expanding. Like they have a lot of love for you. This person's intentions are very pure, very true, and growing. Like it's expanding. I feel like you like woke this person's heart up, and it's just been getting like bigger and bigger. I don't know why. I feel like you might be somebody who overthinks, and like you need to calm that mind down, because this person really cares. Like they care a lot for you, a lot more than they actually let on. I think that's the part that's a little bit tricky. And I want to be very clear, this is not your toxic ex. This is not a connection where this person has like ghosted you or hurt you, or, you know, like you have aligned on so many things. You have really come together in such a way that is so pure and so gentle and very conscious. So the reason I want to make that clear is because this person's way of communicating with you is very different than what you might have been familiar with. Their silence is not abandonment. Their silence is like heart expansion. Like in the times that you are not speaking to this person is romanticizing about you. Like their love is growing for you. Okay, it's I'm hearing it's not what you think it is. Okay, angels, what else do I want to know? What then what is it if it's not what our overthinking mind is trying to tell us? You are meant to allow this masculine to take the lead. And continue cultivating a safe home space for yourself. So that's your physical body, your mind. I don't know if you've been practicing breath work lately, but that just came to mind for some reason. So that might be very beneficial to you. This person is like preparing something for you, like opening a doorway for you, or they're so fond of you. It's so playful. I'll tell you the vision that I'm seeing right now. It's like this pathway, this gravel pathway. For some reason you're barefoot, like on this nature floor, and this person is like laying flower petals at your feet as you're walking, like kind of like a fairy princess. But it's like playful, and they scoop you up and spin you around in their arms, and it's just like, it's so pure, like it's so childlike, this playfulness that exists between the two of you, and it feels as if you are in your own little world with this person. It's kind of as if the rest of the world just like disappears, or when you are with this person, it is so protected. That's what it is. This love connection is so protected. Like, oh my God, the way that you come together with this person, I'm feeling very overwhelmed by the feeling of you together with this person. It feels as if like a new universe is being created through the two of you, and there is going to come a point in time where the both of you have to be very conscious of the energy that you are creating together, because you can quite literally like channel that energy into creating the world around you. And because it's the unity of masculine and feminine energy, it is so powerful that you have to be like very, you know how like when you ask a genie, if you in the stories, when you ask a genie for 3 wishes, you have to be very like on point about what you're asking for, because otherwise you'll end up with like something that you weren't actually trying to receive. That's what's coming through with this, is you have to be so intentional with your plans. Like if you plan to own multiple properties with this person, you have to know where they are, what you're doing with them, like how it's coming together, like have the time ready. Like you are going to have so much power placed in your hands within this love connection. And so, okay, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this because I feel like this channel is going to go on for a little bit longer. I feel like it's good as it is. So if you feel like that's enough, wonderful. If you are a subscriber, remember, you already have access to this reading and it is posted for you. Go ahead and check it out. If you would like access to this reading and every other in-depth reading that I do, simply subscribe in my bio.